Meet the 2025 Mercedes-Benz E450 All-Terrain wagon. You might have thought that if you wanted a station wagon from a German luxury automaker, you would have to spend well over six figures for a crazy performance car. The E450 All-Terrain is not that. It doesn't take the place of the departed E63 AMG wagon, and it doesn't compete with things like the Audi RS6 Avant or BMW M5 Touring. What it is a comfortable alternative to an SUV with a bit of an identity crisis. Let's get into it. I really like the looks of the E450. I think the lines are very stylish. This test vehicle comes with optional 20-inch AMG wheels, standard R19s. Unfortunately, the wheels that look so good are surrounded by black plastic cladding because Mercedes thinks that the only people who want station wagons want something that looks like it can go off-road. I don't know about that. I also don't know about this chrome strip down here that seems like it's at risk if you do try to take it off-road. But the roof line is fantastic. I think it looks really, really good. And then as you come along to the back, you get a power lift gate, a low load floor, and some more chrome you don't really need, like a faux rear skid plate. But overall, the lines are good. It's just some of the execution is lacking. Inside the E450 All-Terrain, there's a lot of good. The seats are very comfortable and roomy up front and in the back seat. The screens for the driver, the 12.3-inch instrument panel and the 14.4-inch central touchscreen are really good looking, excellent graphics, very responsive, and pretty intuitive to use. Visibility is also excellent, both forward and rearward. And there are no huge blind spots like you might get with some vehicles with extra pillars heading back. Really comfortable for driving for long trips, things like that. The bad news also starts up front with these capacitive controls on the steering wheel. So you have touch sensitive controls on the steering wheel for things like cruise control, adjusting volume. Not the best, kind of clumsy. You can both press or slide. It's just not as intuitive and easy to mess up. And if you're doing more aggressive driving, you can easily hit these controls and make an input you didn't want to make. The other problem with this central screen is that pretty much every control, there are a few below, but pretty much every other control is located within the screen, which is just annoying. I don't care for it. I want physical controls, especially for things like climate controls. And I really wish Mercedes would stop confusing technology with luxury. Speaking of screens and technology in place of luxury, this has the optional Superscreen, which puts a 12.3-inch display in front of the front passenger. It doesn't do a lot that a smartphone won't. If this doesn't make you ill, your smartphone probably won't either, so I don't really understand the point of it. Also, as someone who's usually the driver, a lot of this is visible to me while I'm driving. There are filters on it for when things get distracting to drivers, or I guess I should say more distracting, because having that in the corner of my vision on is distracting to me no matter what. So I really don't think you need this, and I think this would look better as just physical dashboard again. So skip the super screen and keep it to a dashboard. That's more luxurious to me. Some other interesting features of the E450 All-Terrain's interior include this off-road page because, again, Mercedes thinks you want a wagon that can go off-road. Here you have controls like the forward camera, which has an invisible hood feature so you can see what's under the car. That is helpful if you're off-roading, but I really don't think anyone's going to take this off-road. You can also adjust the parking sensors, which can be annoying in off-roading situations, turn off traction control, activate hill descent, or even raise or lower the car on its standard Airmatic air suspension. Interesting, but really, you're probably not using these, as one of my colleagues joked when we took this to an off-road park recently. The gravel roads we drove on were probably the first time anyone has pressed the off-road mode in this vehicle. There's also a selfie camera up here, and you can use it as a webcam for Teams meetings or Zoom, if that's your preference. Not mine. I don't want to take meetings in my car. I don't like doing that. And then lastly, this has a built-in AI assistant that in my experience, can get very, very annoying. It pops up at random or seemingly random while I'm driving. In back, the E450 All-Terrain, again, very, very comfortable. I have tons of leg room, tons of headroom, tons of shoulder room, elbow room, pretty much every room you can think of, I've got it back here. Decent materials quality as well, doesn't really dip from the front. Amenities could be better. I have air vents down here, but no actual controls for the temperature, so it's only dual zone automatic climate control, not tri-zone. Could be better. And then down here you have USB ports that are kind of hard to see, but they are there, which is nice. The cup holders are a little tricky to operate. They're located in the armrest, and you might think, oh no, no cup holders, but you press that again, you've got them. The thing about the E450 All-Terrain is that it's pretty expensive. It starts at over $77,000, and as tested, including destination, this one comes to $87,960. That's a lot of money. The GLE SUV, which is roughly the same size and offers roughly the same amount of cargo space, starts in the mid-60s, so more affordable, and something like the three-row GLS SUV starts at around $90,000, and since this isn't fully loaded, you could easily get this into the $90,000 range and be on par with the base GLS. It's tough to justify in that sense at that point, unless what you're looking for is a station wagon from a luxury brand and you don't need performance, because things like the BMW M5 Touring and the Audi RS6 Avant both start at over $120,000. So in that sense, this becomes a bit more affordable. Driving the E450 All-Terrain on pavement is actually my favorite way to enjoy the wagon. It's got a 3-liter turbocharged inline 6-cylinder with 48-volt mild hybrid technology. Gives you 375 horsepower, 369 pounds-feet of torque. Mercedes says it can do 0 to 60 in 4.6 seconds. The more important thing is that the power delivery is really smooth, really easy. It's still a pretty efficient vehicle as well. It's rated at 22 miles per gallon in the city, 31 miles per gallon on the highway, and 25 miles per gallon combined. We're showing 28.6 miles per gallon for our average right now, which is pretty good above the combined number. Fairly efficient. We've seen upwards of 30 on highway drives as well. But again, power delivery, very smooth, very easy, accelerates quickly. It doesn't leave you in the lurch if you need merging or passing power. And if you do actually stomp on it, there is a good amount in reserve. I think responsiveness is better in its sport drive mode, or if you're like me, you can use the individual drive mode and go ahead and set it to sport for the powertrain, sport for the steering, but keep it at comfort with that Airmatic air suspension, and it's just a little bit more pleasant and responsive, especially over Chicago's bumpier pavement. The ride is very comfortable thanks to the Airmatic suspension's adaptive damping system that works automatically to keep things as smooth and level as it can, and the car even warns you as you're approaching a pothole, which is a nice little touch. Comfort could be better. 20-inch wheels are optional. This vehicle is equipped with them. Makes the impacts a little bit harsher, but 19-inch wheels are standard, so you can probably get a little bit more tire sidewall and feel a little bit better about that. Braking feel also very firm, very confident. And the steering is, again, not a sports car level of performance or feedback, but I prefer this to an SUV any day, just in terms of my center of gravity, road holding feel, traction, steering communication, all those things. I would take this over an SUV pretty much any day if money were no object. It's when you start getting into pricing and what equivalent SUVs you can get for this vehicle's sticker price that it starts to become a little bit of a harder sell. The E450 All-Terrain wagon is a stylish, roomy, and comfortable alternative to many SUVs, but it can get pricey quickly, and it starts to make less financial sense the more you add options, especially to some similarly sized 3-row SUVs. If you're looking for a luxurious station wagon, this might be a relative bargain, especially if you don't need a wagon that can bend space and time with all its power. For my full review of the 2025 Mercedes-Benz E450 All-Terrain wagon, head to Cars.com/news.